Hey everybody, this is Kelsey with Carson Now. I wanted to do a little explainer video about the data centers and their effect on power out here in rural northern Nevada. When it comes to power consumption, there seems to be a lot of confusion on how and why residents might end up having to foot the bill for data center expansions. Now, to be clear, I am not a data center expert nor a public utility expert. As a journalist, my job is to sit through hundreds of hours of mostly boring meetings, read long, boring documents, and then attempt to synthesize it all for the public, which is you. In addition to my work with Carson Now, for the last several years, I've also been freelancing for This is Reno, covering the Reno City Council meetings up there, where the topic of data centers and energy consumption has come up over and over again. However, the public has said that the responses from the data center representatives and often city staff themselves haven't been as clear as they could be. So I'm going to do my best to explain with terrible drawings where those concerns are coming from, especially because this just came up again in Lyon County. So we're going to use a water well as a metaphor for our electricity. In our metaphorical little regular town, we have a well where our water comes from. We have large users like schools and hospitals that need a large pipe to receive the energy they need. Then we have our neighborhoods and our houses, which need much smaller pipes. But we have a bit left over for fluctuations. When a new development comes in, like a new residential area or another hospital, we need more capacity. In our metaphor, we drill the well deeper. In reality, when it comes to energy consumption, we build more infrastructure to carry that electricity to the new development. Increasing infrastructure means everybody who uses the well has to pay for it, with the cost dispersed across all users. However, the community gets a direct economic benefit back. The new houses bring in property taxes, and the new schools and new hospitals provide jobs. But then we have data centers. Data centers don't just need a slight amount of extra power, they need a huge amount of electricity. When you have more and more data centers all drawing from the same reservoir, you have to drastically increase the overall capacity of the grid. Those who are concerned say that the issue is that the data centers causing this massive draw on the system are not paying for the capacity expansion on their own. Instead, all customers on the grid, residential users, old and new, and standard businesses, must communally subsidize this massive increase. Unlike a hospital or a school, data centers do not employ many people or put a proportional amount of money back into the system to justify costing it so much. This causes a lot of confusion at the local government level. When concerned citizens bring this up to city councils or boards, the councils will typically ask developers how much the public will be charged for the new data center. The developers will correctly state that the data centers pay for its own hookup to the system, so the public pays nothing for that connection. However, they are only talking about putting the pipe into the system. They're not actually responding to the main concern, which is the cost of expanding the reservoir's overall capacity, which is passed on to everyone else on the grid. There's also been a lot of debate about whether or not local governments can force data centers to provide their own renewable energy. During a Reno City Council meeting, it was argued that the council wasn't allowed to mandate this, claiming it fell under the jurisdiction of the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada, which is PUCN. However, the PUCN clarified that this is not correct. Because the local jurisdiction has the ultimate power to approve or deny a project, they also have the jurisdiction to set standards for that approval. Reno City Council did end up approving that data center without additional renewable energy requirements, but this has continued to be an ongoing issue, not just for Reno, but all of the surrounding rural counties as well. So there you have it. There's the Carson Now explains why some rural Nevadans are concerned that they're going to end up footing the bill for the ongoing data center expansions.